Good to have you with us. I'm Bill Wixie.
I'm Liz DeWicki. A lot to talk about this morning.
You better believe it. And Washington wildfire season in full swing right now. At least 5 wildfires burning in our state right now, all of them in central and eastern Washington. Dozens of people forced to evacuate and challenging conditions for containment there.
All right, so we have team coverage this morning here. Fox 13's Jennifer Dowling by the Lynn Fire in Adams County, and then we've got Dan Griffin by the Cow Canyon Fire in Yakima County, and Brian McMillan in the Weather Center right now tracking those conditions.
We begin with Dan, and this fire exploded overnight, going from 1,500 acres yesterday to 5,600 this morning. 0% containment right now, we understand. Dan, what can you tell us?
Yeah, so certainly that's the situation that firefighters are up against right now, and there's just so much smoke. As I've been here this morning breathing it in, it's getting me choked up. You can see over here where the sunrise has come up and the smoke just clearly filling the air here. This is just some of what those fire crews are up against. At least 100 working around the clock to stop the flames from spreading. As of the last update, at least 50 homes are threatened. It's believed this fire started at the Barbecue Flats campground just a couple days ago. The cause at this point is not yet clear. So far, no injuries have been reported, but we've seen helicopters dumping water as fire crews try to combat the flames spreading into the trees, only fueled by high winds and heat. Officials say this is extremely concerning, and level 2 and 3 evacuations are underway. Level 2 meaning prepare to go, and level 3 meaning to get out now. We've seen some people trying to clear brush and high grass from near their properties in an effort to slow the spread. And all the while, the Red Cross has opened a shelter at the Seattle Civic Center for people to seek refuge. And officials say they're considering opening a shelter in Ellensburg.
They were evacuated because the fire was close to their home. And so they're with us and will be with us until they can go back to their home.
And he's referring to one couple who's staying at the Civic Center right now is seeking refuge from the flames and the smoke. We're expecting a wildfire update a little bit later this morning from DNR officials. So as soon as we get more information on that, we'll obviously bring that to you. But for now, live here at the Cow Canyon Fire, Dan Griffin, Fox 13 News.
All right, Dan, appreciate it. We also want to go to Jennifer in Adams County, where the small town of Lind was completely evacuated yesterday.
So, Jennifer, you were out there for that. What is it like there this morning?
Well, good morning. There are fire crews on the scene right now as we speak. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see some of the area that was severely burned during the fire here south of town. Now, these hills sit south of the main part of town, but we know that at least 6 homes burned in this blackened area behind me, and firefighters have been monitoring that all morning. There are 8 outbuildings or garages that also burned, according to Sheriff last night. And he also told us that the fire was contained sometime before 9 o'clock yesterday evening, and fire crews were working diligently throughout the day to make that happen. The sheriff says the fire started on the south side of town, as I mentioned, at around 11:45 a.m. Thursday, and by 12:30 it was out of control and came raging over the hills towards the railroad tracks and toward the center of town. It was moving very quickly due to high temperatures and high winds, burning 6 homes, as I mentioned, and 8 outbuildings like garages and sheds as it went along. The charred hillsides were still smoldering yesterday and this morning, and firefighters continue to spray down hot spots to keep those flames from rising again. The entire town was told to evacuate at one point. The north side returned first, and the south side eventually returned later in the evening to their homes at about 8 o'clock. The sheriff praised the volunteer firefighters and others who gave their all to protect the rest of the community.
You don't get this everywhere. You don't get people that will drop what they're doing to go and help. And this community, Adams County as a whole, will absolutely do that for anybody and everybody. No matter what your differences are, every single time something like this happens, the town of Lind, town of Ritzville, town of Washtuckna, Othello City, everybody comes together and we deal with these things.
And we also spoke with Trudy Davies. She's one of the residents who stepped in to shelter livestock, and she also helped to man the potluck table at Hazy's Cafe, where the owners and other volunteers were feeding firefighters and evacuees. So many in the town of around 500 were without power, and crews were assessing damage Thursday evening and this morning. We've seen crews out this morning working to replace charred utility poles and get power back to residents here. Trudy says that most people in the community have experienced fires before, so they know how to pull together to help others in these type of situations. So back out here this morning, Wagner says that one firefighter did suffer from some smoke inhalation, and he was flown out to Spokane for treatment. Meantime, again, firefighters have things under control here right now. We continue to see some little flare-ups on the hillside, but things are looking pretty good, and it looks like, again, it's mostly assessing damage and looking for hot spots and keeping those under control. Reporting live in Lynn, Jennifer Dowling, Fox 13 News.
Jennifer Dowling live in Adams County for us this morning. Brian McMillan joining us now with a look at kind of a wider scope of all the fires burning in the West right now. It's pretty amazing.
And it's kind of amazing how fast these fires can just blow up overnight, or, you know, when you get 30, 40 mile an hour winds, how big they can become in a very short period of time. Yeah, that one Cow Canyon fire actually tripled in size since 24 hours ago, just due to the 40 mile an hour winds they were seeing out that direction. So let's get to it here and look at all these little wildfires. Some of these are smaller than others, of course, but let's zoom in to some of the bigger ones right now. Vantage Highway fire still at 26,000 acres. That number will likely be updated here this morning. I'm assuming it will be bigger after those 40 mile an hour winds we saw yesterday. The hot spots on this one are now on the west end. That's where you see these little fire icons here. And the perimeter of that fire goes right up against the Columbia River. The good news with this one, it is now 35% contained. The Cow Canyon fire is the worrisome fire right now. The good news I have out that direction is that it will be cooler today. Not only that, the winds will be calm today, so that should help greatly. But this is that fire that blew up about 3 times its size compared to 24 hours yesterday. And then the Williams Lake fire south of Cheney. Right now it's 42 degrees. I expect calm winds out that direction as well. So that is certainly some good news. Now, coming up here tomorrow, we could start to see some of that smoke in the higher levels move its way over to the west side of the Cascades. This particular model will get us, especially in the South Sound areas, get us some of that smoke. Now, I don't expect it to have a huge impact to our air quality here on the west side. You just may notice a tinge up there in the atmosphere. Your 3-day forecast gets us warmer in the next couple of days, back into the mid to upper 80s for your weekend. Let's see how the roads are looking with Adam.
How about it this morning? Watching 405 moving in around 527. This checks in pretty decent shape, actually, getting out of the north. Snohomish County moving into King County. Liking what we're working with. Not a whole lot to really hold you back. Enjoy that while you've got it. Meanwhile, northbound 405 does slow a little more through the Renton curves, but starting out Friday light, that's kind of what we're working with here, working with you. Drivers through Tacoma, that looks to be in fine order. The Valley Freeway, Puyallup to Pacific, right to the county line, that's going to stay a little more active and a little more frustrating. We found that on I-5 getting up towards 516, that's also going to stay just a little bit more congested. The Valley Freeway actually makes a little sense getting out of Auburn into Kent versus I-5 from Auburn towards Kent or Des Moines. Okay, imagine that. Moving north 405, right, like I said, through the Renton curves does fill in a little more. I-5 in around the Michigan curve still checks in also in the clear. Guys, back over to you.
Getting a look at a closer look at some of those fires burning across the state. Firefighters getting a bit of a handle on the Vantage Highway fire across from the Gorge, the largest wildfire in our state right now. It's burned more than 26,000 acres since it started on Monday. It's now 35% contained. Crews say the cooler weather and humidity has helped there. No evacuation orders in effect, and the Vantage Highway actually reopened last night.
Well, we are tracking 2 other wildfires out east. Agencies around the state are sending crews out to the Riparia fire, which just started yesterday, Whitman County. So the southeast corner of Washington as well along the Snake River. That's about 2,500 acres, about 30 homes are under evacuation notice there. And then about an hour and a half north, closer to Spokane, firefighters are still working on the Williams Lake fire near Cheney. It's now burned 3,200 acres. But winds are dying down, and that's going to be a really big help for crews. You can stay on top of all the wildfires, the conditions fire crews are up against, and the possibility for smoke in our area as well. Use the Fox 13 weather app. It is free to download on Google Play and the App Store.